Dr. Alexis Little from the Ohio State University, make sure I did that right, was nominated for the Voices of the Unheard, a mixed methods study of Black girls and exclusionary school discipline policies, a growing and appreciated, appreciate is the wrong word, a growingly analyzed and understood section of the school to prison pipeline. So thank you, Dr. Little, for that work as well.
Much, and congrats to the other nominees too.
Thank you, and let me say, I didn't see Dr. Little Alexis in the list before because I was looking for Alexis and not Dr. Little. Please step up and say a few words.
Sure, thank you so much for this honor. First, I have to thank my advisor, Dr. Karen Beard, because we went through a lot to get to the point of a finished product, and all of the other scholars at Ohio State. Of course, my mother, who's videotaping me talking and thanking everyone here. So this work is very important to me, and I just wanted to let you all know that I'm presenting a paper based off of my dissertation research on Sunday, April 11th at 2:30 p.m. And I will also be teaching a course loosely based off of my dissertation work at OSU this summer. So thank you so much. I really appreciate the honor. So this really speaks more to the point. As you can see, Black girls represent in public schools 8% of the population, yet for female students receiving one or more out of school suspension, it's nearly 50%, and that's a disparity. And then behind that disparity is a story. Just let me know when it shows for all of you.
It's there.
Oh, it's there. Okay. Is it in the full screen?
It's full screen.
Oh, okay. Look at that. Okay. So, hello everyone. Today I will be presenting a paper entitled Stimulating Positive Social Change Through Effective Policy Implementation, Black Girls in School Discipline. This paper was created based off of my dissertation study that was conducted under the guidance of my advisor and co-author of this paper, Dr. Karen Beard. So many of you are familiar with the school to prison pipeline, maybe have heard about disparities along the lines of race, but where this study is coming into play is that in terms of race, the focus has primarily been on Black boys, because as you can see from the figure, disaggregates for boys. Black boys are the highest regardless of gender, regardless of race and disability. But the important component to pull out is that when you look at girls, you also see that Black girls are, if you look here at the encircled component, the yellow column, Black girls are the highest, receive the largest amount of out of school suspensions. When we have a group that is conflated with another group, even if they share the same race, then we have a problem. Now, scholars such as Monique Morris, Kimberly Crenshaw, scholars who are dedicated to Black women and girls, they have been looking at the experiences of this group. But I would say in the last 3 to 5 years, really, there has been a growing focus and interest in Black girls. But as a policy scholar, it's important when you provide interventions, when you provide support, it really should be evidence-based. And if you're conflating two groups as one, then you're missing a really important component and therefore not meeting the needs of the student. So this really speaks more to the point As you can see, black girls represent in public schools 8% of the population, yet for female students receiving one or more out-of-school suspension, it's nearly 50%, and that's a disparity. And then behind that disparity is a story. Design of my study, I conducted a mixed method study. It's a sequential explanatory model. That's the one that I chose to do because the quantitative was prioritized. It created the structure for the study. So it established the problem using the Midwestern Department of Education's discipline data. But the qualitative component really, it centered the black girls not as victims, but as experts in their experiences as girls currently in high school, but also as the people who would have the most insight into what could the solutions be, even if you didn't receive funding. So implications, why does this matter? So at the heart of all of this is the desire to influence policy. And, you know, looking at the policy cycle and how things happen and how long it takes to change a policy, we still have agency. The agency is that if you can't change it on the front end, you can change the implementation. The implementation component, sure, it did cause some problems, but it also has the potential to positively impact the students. And also in terms of advocacy, again, as I said, the black girls were the experts. They are the people who are central in figuring out the solution because they know what they need, they know what works. Any study that doesn't centralize the group that they're studying is a project that's not worth having. So for me, it was important to centralize the girls as you're not coming here as victims, you're coming here as people who have agency and the power to positively impact your school and your community as well. And they really positively responded to that. So these are the references used in the presentation, and thank you for your time.
Racialized reading also when it comes to African American girls, right?
Yeah, and also adultification, specifically for black girls. Black girls are perceived to know more about sex, to more adult-like behavior. So if they wear a skirt that their non-black counterpart wears, they're doing it because they want to elicit sexual attention, whereas the other girls are just doing it because they're girls and having fun. We all have biases. Not all biases are bad. Sometimes it helps us live. But in terms of this particular situation, it's not just relegated to white teachers or non-black teachers, because when you have spaces that are predominantly black, then you'll have black teachers preferring lighter skin because of colorism, lighter skin students over others, or maybe certain hair texture over others, or students that have features that are more closer to whiteness than others. So it's an all-encompassing thing. Perhaps in areas where it's a cultural shock, it might be, oh, these girls are doing this way because this is how I've seen what black girls are black girls and women, because black girls don't often have the chance to be girls.
Right, and even the ways in which, as you're saying, right, that we know dress codes police girls' bodies and make their body the site of disruption than the others who are giving girls unwanted attention. Thank you. Sorry, I don't want to go on and on.
About time to close out. I would just like to say to all the authors and to all of the attendees here, we had a paper that wasn't able to be here. And I regret that we were not able to hear from those authors. But I do agree with what someone, I think, said out loud and wrote in the chat. I think it tells us something when we don't have too many papers packed into a session, and we really do get to the theoretical underpinnings and the methods that guide these studies. Because I think these papers were absolutely fantastic, and we were able to hear all of that today because there were 3 papers in the session. But at any rate, I hope you enjoy the rest of your AERA. Thank you all who attended. Thank you to those of you who presented. And I look forward to seeing all of these papers in print. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you all so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.